Collective, I've got your daily extended look here for the mini reading posted on all my platforms. If you're brand new, my name's Cody. I'm your conscious soul reader. I appreciate your curiosity. If you haven't seen that reading, you're going to want to go check that out real quick. That'll let you know how these cards got on the table. We're going to get clarification, run out some advice, an outcome, and then look at some oracle to close this reading for today. If you're already a YouTube subscriber, thank you for your continued love and support and for your contribution all around. Without further ado, we're going to jump right in here in just a second. If you need to book a personal, everything's going to be in the link tree in the description box of this video. It'll also take you to my other platforms where I go live and post content. My website's there in that link tree where you're going to be booking. Also offering mentorships there, so feel free to poke around, ask any questions if you need to. If you recognize those other platforms, go ahead and give me a follow. I'm also going live and posting content there, so let's jump in. Clarification. We've got a pathological liar, as you saw from the title. Let's see. Let's find out what this... The Ace of Pentacles and the Seven of Swords. Six of Cups sideways. And the Six of Swords. So this is somebody here, Ten of Swords. We have the Ten of Swords here as well. Lots of deception. You're trying to maintain and keep your composure so that you can probably find out as much as possible. You're not sure how long this has been going on. You're quite certain it's been going on for quite a bit of time, possibly since the beginning. But I think you're in this quest to find out information so that you can build your case. We've got this Queen of Swords over here, the Eight of Swords. Tell me about the Five of Wands and the Seven of Wands. Page of Pentacles. Tell me about the Five of Wands. Ace of Cups, Five of Cups. Okay. So these are those details that are not quite adding up. Somebody here is offering you a bunch of information, you know, goals, ideas, dreams, but nothing quite adds up. The Five of Cups, there's lots of disappointment here. There's lots of conflicting conversations. There's lots of conflicting details that are causing you to feel the need to question things. And every single time you ask something, this person gets overly defensive. They'll deflect the conversation. They'll send everything back around to you. Tell me more about the Seven of Wands. Yeah, the Nine of Swords sideways. This is somebody who's trying to pass blame. They're trying to shift the anxiety onto you, make you feel stressed out. This is somebody who is a master manipulator, very capable of taking the conversation and twisting words to confuse you. Two of Pentacles, master manipulator. They can jump on the dime, right? They take a moment and they can just twist that story instantly. And they're the type of person who's very calm with that emotional stress. You're more of a person who's focusing on figuring out the betrayal, right? You're trying to work through those emotions. This person doesn't really have emotional investment because they're emotionally unaccountable anyway. So they're just trying to, you know, cover their tracks, shift the blame, put everything back on you. Got the Death card coming out. Could be dealing with a Scorpio. Indicated in the mini reading, of course, we have Gemini, Leo, and Sagittarius. Now we have Scorpio out here. So this is something that is causing you to feel on edge, but this person is masterful at possibly being so aggressive and so defensive that you don't want to cause a fight, so you just drop it. They could, you know, push the issue pretty hard here. Tell me about the Queen of Swords, the Eight of Swords. Tell me about the Queen of Swords and the Eight of Swords. Queen of Cups. Five of Pentacles. A lot of fives out here. Things are changing. Everything you once thought to be true has changed. So everything has changed here. I got the Temperance, more Sagittarius energy. You could be using your own manipulation tactics here to try to come across very supportive, very loving, very compassionate. There is not a lot of receptivity with that here, possibly. You could be getting a lot of kickback and a lot of pushback from this person. Because like I said, they're a pathological liar. This person is masterful, master manipulator. Tell me about this Lover's card. Four of Cups. Ten of Pentacles. Maintaining control of everything to try to feel like they have control over this whole partnership, this whole connection, how the conversation goes. This is them driving the whole conversation. Judgment card. Tell me about the Two of Wands. King of Swords. And the Moon card. You're dealing with somebody who is quite skilled, quite trained at bending their truth so that they can operate how they please while easing and appeasing your mind to not ask many questions, to not push back too hard, to not question their aggression. Tell me about the King of Wands. Nine of Wands. They may have learned this early on. Yeah, they learned this early on. They've been doing this pretty much their entire life. This person may have learned this in childhood. We've got the Eight of Pentacles, Seven of Swords. They learned that their emotions are not serving them, but they learned very early how to use other people's emotional weaknesses against them. Seven of Swords, Eight of Cups, Eight of Pentacles, Nine of Wands. This person, Eight of Swords, 888. Right here, 888. This is their tactic. This is something that they are very skilled at. Eight of Swords, Eight of Cups, Seven of Swords, Nine of Wands. They've been doing this a very long time. There's that Hierophant. I believe this is something that they learned as a defense mechanism from childhood trauma, dealing with some pretty harsh family dynamics potentially, and it just continued to build from there with their connections, with their relationships, both romantic and platonic, business relationships, everything. This person is masterful deception here. Tell me about the Queen of Pentacles and the Knight of Wands. I'm getting from this that you're, Four of Pentacles. This is your new focus here. I feel like you're just trying to gather and accumulate as much evidence as you can while maintaining that energy back. This is you being very closed off, but very, still grounded, still supportive, still present, but you're holding back a lot. This is you holding your emotions back. This is you keeping your cards close to the chest. Yeah, you're not showing too much. The Sun card out here, playing their game. You're playing their game. You're holding your cards close to your chest while you find the truth. Tell me about the Knight of Wands. Here is the Five of Wands. That argumentative, deceptive, combative Two of Wands. Yes, this person is going to be very defensive when they get found out. When they get found out the type of person they are. Two of Wands, Knight of Wands. This person is a very free spirit. They're all about that chase. They're all about that hunt and that pursuit. And they're a thrill seeker. Lying and deceiving is a part of that. This was learned early on. If things get too calm, too stagnant, they probably feel very uncomfortable. People who are raised in very traumatic experiences often recreate that throughout their lives to maintain that balance of a energy that they get very used to. People get very used to this chaotic energy, and it's difficult without proper therapy and coaching, accountability for that behavior with the intention to change. Is only going to show somebody how to master this over time if they're not shown how this is actually not the way life should or could be conducted. There's actually a way better way to build relationships and to have interconnected relationships. But this person doesn't really know any better. Here's the Fool card. They don't really know any better. I think they're kind of stuck in this perpetual loop of thrill seeking and being committed to the chase. Ace of Wands, Page of Cups, Hierophant, Seven of Cups, Knight of Cups, Five of Swords. You know, ultimately this continues on in this circle though. We've got the Five of Swords, Nine of Pentacles, Three of Wands. There it is. Justice card, Knight of Wands, Devil card. Consistent loop. This is a consistent loop. I think as the mini reading showed towards the end with this run out, you're shifting your commitment and dedication because of this person taking advantage of how committed you are and going off and doing whatever they like, whenever they like, figuring out how to control you emotionally and mentally. Your new commitment now is shifting to finding out whatever you can here and basically finding the evidence you need to show this person either the opportunity to correct the situation or the chance for you to feel confident enough and secure enough in the decision to go ahead and leave and part ways. We always want to give somebody the opportunity to have accountability, to take ownership, and to make changes and efforts. We can't go around and throw red flags in people's faces and say, oh, red flag, I'm out. This is an opportunity to figure out how they work with conflict resolution. How are they capable of working through issues and conflict with you? Now we will see how somebody behaves. Now we will see their childhood traumas come up, their ability to maintain a calm and even tone, the ability to hear you, listen to you, and reciprocate conversation versus listening to reply. There's listening to understand, there's listening to reply, and none of this gets found out if we don't have the conversation of potential conflict resolution. So I think you're going to find the evidence you need. It just depends on the person, on how they receive this information, and if they're able to ever take ownership. Should they be able to take ownership? I don't want to say everybody is, the same, because some people are capable. Some people are capable of seeing how badly you are hurt and not wanting you to hurt and figuring out how to work together to correct that situation. Some people are capable of doing that. All right, let's clean this up and get some advice. Okay, so we also had Pisces energy showing up. That was the final major arcana. I just didn't want to disclude anybody. Of course, it could be anybody. Those are just energies. We just want to cover everybody just to make sure. I don't always, but I like to when I can think about it. Let's get some advice. So no matter what, however things have been done, it can't continue. Okay, the tower is tearing everything down that's been built so far and rebuilding it to something that actually will sustain and will last. Because now we know what doesn't work, we need to now build it to what does. Five of Swords. Some of you may just end up needing to walk away from this altogether. They may have a very difficult time with the truth. Got the Judgment card, Page of Pentacles. You may see this person taking more chances and opportunities to try to find ways around having any accountability here. Seven of Pentacles. Five of Cups in reverse. Five of Pentacles. This is something that this person is quite used to. They're quite capable and used to talking their way out of things. This is somebody who's been at this a very long time. I do see where a lot of you are needing to just keep your emotions in check here. I've got Five Swords, Five Pentacles. I feel like you're going to be confronted with somebody who's going to have a very difficult time with the truth. Ace of Pentacles, Knight of Wands. Yeah. It's going to reveal a lot about this person. Here's some very truthful, honest conversations coming up where you're going to need to trust yourself. You're going to need to trust the authenticity, the vibration of the conversation, because this person maybe is quite masterful at finding ways. They may have learned over a long period of time how to bend the will to their way with that Two of Pentacles here. You're dealing with a master affirmation, master manipulator. Yeah, they're going to get very, very defensive as well. Very defensive, use tactics here. That Four of Cups is probably some silent treatment. This is somebody who's going to deflect. They're probably going to try to run as a way to avoid accountability altogether here, okay? Goodness, that was more of an outcome than advice. Let's get some advice if we can. Any advice from my collective? What can I have? Advice. Five of Wands. Wow. Five of Wands, Five of Pentacles, and the King of Swords again. Because you may not be the type of person who is a master manipulator. We've got the Queen of Cups out here. This person is maybe on a different level than you. Lovers, Star card, and here's the Five of Swords. Here's the final five. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. You're in for quite a fight. You know this person, though. The Lovers has come out again. You know who you're dealing with. You know this person. I feel like the devastation of a lot of this is going to feel like how this is showing you a completely different side of this person. That's going to be very jarring for you, and you're going to need to really maintain your spiritual divine connection. Your spirituality, your compassion, your kindness, your love is your superpower here. Because this is going to be somebody who is quite capable of deceiving, manipulating, okay? They have a way to take the truth and bend it to their will. They really do. I don't know if you can really trust this person. The level of person that you are, I think they're finally starting to realize that they really don't deserve you. Star card, the Queen of Cups, and the Lovers. I feel like this person is figuring out that they don't deserve you, and they're going to fight back with you because they're going to realize that they are losing out here. We've got the Hermit card, Wheel of Fortune, the Fool card. There it is. You've learned everything you need to know. The deception, the lies, the betrayal, the trap has been set for this person to fall right into it. Eight of Swords, Four of Cups, again with the Four of Cups. You're disappointed, and I get it. And naturally, we're going to want to try to hold on to a connection because of the longevity, because of our investment. That's that Hanged Man, right? You've sacrificed your time. You know, some of you may have gone all in with this person, and it's very devastating to be deceived in this way, to find out that you were duped and tricked. I get it. Trust me. Trust me. I get it. Okay. Let's get some Oracle. Let's get some Oracle. Let's look at the Magic 8. All right. Let's see. What else can I tell my collective? What else do they need to know about this connection? Expect a call or a text. They're in their head. They may be aware that you're onto them. Trust issues. Both ways. They're aware you're onto them, so they may be trying to schmooze things over. They're going to try to soften you up, maybe throw you off scent, throw you off the track. We've got game over. Game over. It's over. Obsessed. It's not over. Yep. Look at this push-pull. We've got autumn. You may have been in a partnership with this person since autumn. They may have been cold and distant. Things may have changed since last autumn, and now you're finally starting to get the nerve and the courage to look for some solid evidence. Yeah, we've got falling for you. Cold and distant, falling for you. Past life love. This is the bond and the connection. This is why they are going to fight back with you. This is why they deflect. But they do harbor secret love. They may be keeping their emotions from you. They may hold their emotions hostage from you, breadcrumbing you, making you earn pieces of validation of their love. Others of you are dealing with somebody who is keeping connection to somebody else. They're holding space for somebody else. So you are kept at arm's length. You're kept at a distance. This may have been going on since last winter. This may be somebody who came back, who wanted another chance. There may be this person that you're dealing with wanted another chance with somebody from their past. This may be a part of their game where they want to try to breadcrumb you and keep you going. We've got time out, take a break. Time out, break. Spirit is asking you to take breaks from this whenever needed. If you need to pull back from this, to collect yourself, to just get yourself back grounded again, to, remove this energy from you and center yourself so that you can come back and, really authentically talk to this person. Because truth is one of the purest vibrations that you can give off. And the second that starts to shift and change, you can feel it. This is why you can feel when someone's lying. And the more self-aware you are, the more authentically you can feel other people, okay? So it's important for you to pull back from this, correct your energy, balance yourself so that you can come back and deal with this. So you know what you're dealing with, what's true, what's not, okay? See it for what it is. Don't get lost in the emotions. Let's see what else about this person. Anything else about this pathological liar, this opportunist? Baby mama, baby daddy issues. Petty and childish. This person's very childish, or they have these really petty arguments, petty outlooks on things. Constantly wanting to have back chat for everything you ask, request. This person is light-skinned, could be Anglo, Caucasian. They're a fake, phony. They may even be a false prophet. They could be somebody out there who is trying to talk to other people and coach and guide them, but they have no business doing that. We've got false prophet out here, social media addiction. Okay. Social media addiction breeds secrecy and deception. When somebody is constantly online, this breeds secrecy and deception. Please call, text, email me. Know what you're thinking so they can calculate and make their moves. Happily single is just kind of hanging out of the deck here. They may be out there acting like they're happily single. They may fear that you're doing this, so they want to know, right? So they can adjust or deflect or use this as an excuse to go out and do whatever they want to do. We've got narcissistic tendencies here. They could be a narcissist or have those tendencies. Therapy or life coaching is required. Required here. I feel like you're pretty much over this. This feels like this is beyond repair with you. There's a lot of damage that's been done. We've got some bad jealousy issues that have come up. Either this has bred jealousy issues in you, or they could have been here long standing. I mean, this person is lying consistently, so they've definitely stirred this up in you. I'm sorry I hurt you. Deep down, they're aware of what's going on here. I need to heal from this connection. What else? Let's see. Okay. This person is barely keeping it together. I feel like you are very likely to find what you need in order to solve this. Sit back. They're going to see how protected you are. You're not going to need to have retaliation. You're not going to need to berate this person, but there's not really much you have to do. You don't have to dirty your hands with karma on this. Just walk away, step back, and let karma handle everything. We need some space right now. And look at this, right after that, I'm coming back. We need some space right now. That's that back and forth. I regret choosing them, but they're emotionally manipulative. They're probably going to use this information to try to play on your heartstrings, to manipulate you with this grief that they're experiencing to make you feel bad. They could use it as a way to have a excuse for their behavior. Got water signs, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces, and I should not have let you go so easily. They know they should apologize, but they're way too proud. Way, way, way too proud. I feel like if they ever were to admit anything to you, it would be an automatic hit to their ego that I don't think they could stand. They've built themselves so much around their ego, and their ego is built by their experiences. And this is something that they are not willing to face. If they don't even have accountability for the conversations that they have, their actions, the way in which they relate with other people, getting this person to have accountability for their own emotional honesty and integrity is probably beyond your capabilities. Again, we saw that life coaching and therapy needed. This may be beyond what you're capable of handling. So if you need somebody to assist you with emotional help, it's going to be somebody in the therapy line. So anybody who is a counselor or a emotional guide, something of that nature. If somebody is going to respond better to looking at something pragmatically and then figuring out some steps to hold themselves to work away from issues, a life coach or a mentor would probably be a better fit. If they're not so attuned to their emotions, but they're looking for a path away from behavior, if somebody is actually willing to own up and take accountability, these are paths forward. Okay. Again, you're going to need to book a personal reading with me to get all the details. Take what fits, throw out the rest. I'm going to go ahead and end the reading here. If you need any further advice or guidance, everything's going to be in the link tree in the About Me section on my page. Feel free to reach out if you have any questions. Also, go ahead and look at that link tree there at the bottom. If you notice all those other platforms, I'm going live and posting content all the time. Make sure you give me a follow. If you recognize any of those, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe button, and notification bell. Until next time, collective, I'm wishing all the health, wealth, and abundance you can stand.